part of the reason why people have a difficult time deciding whether to move on or to go back to their relationship is because they don't know the true meaning of self-worth. How to really move on. Alam mo yung totoong move on. Now, if I'm gonna ask you that specific question, it's a very basic answer and tell everybody who ask for an advice na just forgive. Alam mo yun, kalimutan mo na lang siya, isipin mo na lang, napatay na siya, mga ganong klaseng mga bagay. Pero here's the thing, it's actually a very vague advice eh. Kasi pag sinabi mo sa tao, paano ka mag-move on, kalimutan mo na siya. Parang sinabi mo sa kanya na sumakay ka ng train papuntang Karamap going to Jebel Ali. Pero hindi mo alam yung specifics kung paano ka sumakay ng train. You're just giving the macro advice. Pero most of the time, people has difficulty finding the way on how to forgive and how to forget. Kaya nga siya hindi naka-move on kasi hindi niya alam paano mag-forgive at hindi niya din alam kung paano mag-forget. So, what is the right way if ever ikaw na tao na broken-hearted, iniwan ng taong mahal mo, and you wanted to move on? Yun din, isa din yun, acceptance. Ang dali kasing sabihin na you have to accept the fact of what happened to you. Pero tulad nga ng analogy ko kanina, it's just like telling to someone, paano ka makapunta from point A to point B, sumakay ka ng sasakyan. It's a macro level of advice. Pero not everybody knows the specifics of how to do it. So an advice of acceptance is actually a macro advice, which is very difficult to follow kasi hindi mo alam kung paano ka pupunta doon. If ever somebody is already at a specific level, everybody would be able to do it easily. Pero hindi po ganun kadali. Here's the thing. How to really actually move on? Paano ka ba talaga mag-move on? Well, I think first off, everybody jumps into a specific conclusion wherein dapat i-accept mo yung pagkakataon na nasaktan ka, dapat you have to forget, just don't stay on that specific place. Fine, that's the right way of moving on. Pero that's already on the later part. Kasi nga, that's step 10 out of 50. So you have to first start somewhere at the very beginning. So ano po yon, Kuya Darbs? The first step of moving on is to actually feel the pain. Remember guys, the only way for you to remove pain is to go through it. There's no other way. If you're saying to yourself na ililibang ko na lang yung sarili ko, I would just go on and spend time with my friends, with my family, fine, it alleviates the pain for the moment. Pero you're just treating the symptom, not the sickness. Kasi nga, bottom line is, pag uwi ka ng bahay, mag-isa ka sa kwarto, it will always go back to you. The pain, the memories, the suffering, and the happy moments. So, the only way for you to remove pain is to go through it. Accept the fact that it's finished and accept the fact that it's painful. That's just how it is. Ganito kasi yan. You can't tell your heart, your mind, and your soul to be okay. It's just like telling a physical wound, huy, gumaling ka na. Of course, it's not gonna happen 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days. Hindi mangyayari yun eh. A physical wound is gonna heal by itself depending on your capacity, depending on your capability as an individual. Kasi may mga taong mabilis gumaling, may mga taong hindi mabilis gumaling. Pero bottom line is, the body has a natural process of healing. Physically, yung mga sugat ha. So same as true with the wound in the heart. But one way for you not to heal first is to delay the healing process by not facing the fact that everything is over. Okay lang umiyak, okay lang sumigaw, okay lang kahit anong gawin mo, ayos lang yan. Any outlet that you wanted to do, and there's no shame of crying over a person that hurt you. Kasi that's one way for you to actually remove that heavy feeling. The more you go through pain, the more you're able to put it out there. Sus yung tinatago mo lang sa loob mo. So that's one way. Feel the pain and don't be scared. There's no really true way for you to go over it, but to accept the fact that it's painful and you have to go through that. Now, after that, when you feel the pain, ito, just a disclaimer, it doesn't necessarily mean that if you feel the pain, you have to destroy your life. Of course not. There's a fine line. You don't have to allow yourself na maapektuhan yung work mo, yung relationship mo sa iba, or anything beyond what you have. Kasi that relationship already destroyed you. Please, do yourself a favor. Don't allow that specific reason to destroy other relationships as well. So, when you feel the pain, it's just have to be you. And you contain that feeling of pain just inside of you. Never allow that to spread outward your work, your personal life, your family, or your friend. You can tell them, but it should not be at the cost of that relationship. Okay, that's one thing. Second thing, so okay, Kuya Darbs, na-feel ko na nga yung pain. I already felt the pain and it's already 2 months, 3 months, hindi ko pa rin siya makalimutan. Well, everybody has their own process. It doesn't necessarily mean na naka-move on ka before sa dating jowa mo ng 1 month. 1 month na palagi pag nagka-break up ka sa jowa mo. It's not like that. Depending on the severity, depending on the gravity of the relationship, depending on how special the relationship was, it's fine. Second thing, after you go through pain, make a decision. Anong decision, Kuya Darbs? You have to make a decision that if you want to pursue the relationship or you have to let it go. I understand. I understand that, nag-break na nga kami, irregardless of what happened. Regardless of what happened with the breakup, you have to only have 2 options. Either you decide to go back to that person or you move on. It's just both. Part of the reason why it's very difficult to move on is because half of the time you're half-baked. Umaga pa lang gusto mong makipagbalikan, pagkahapon ayaw mo na. Tapos after mo nakita yung post sa Facebook, gusto mo na makipagbalikan. Tapos nung nakita mo yung may post na makasamang iba, ayaw mo na ulit. And it's just like opening your wound. Alam mo yung pag may sugat ka, tapos may band-aid, binubuksan-buksan mo. Ganon yung nangyayari eh. So you're never gonna heal right away. Kung ganun ang gagawin mo, you're never gonna be able to move on if that's what you're gonna do. So second step is that you have to decide. Either you want to continue or you don't want to continue. Now, merong 2 branches yan eh. If ever you decided to continue with the relationship, either you make amends to that person kahit nakasalanan niya, or I don't know if that person is trying to get back to you, well and good, so it's easier for you. If that's the case, never allow that reason of breakup to haunt you on the future things that you will have as a couple. Kasi kung pinatawad mo siya, halimbawa nag-cheat yung partner mo, tapos pinatawad mo siya, but that is the cost of everything that you will have moving forward, like saka pumunta, ganito ganyan, nagiging nagger ka na, there's no point of forgiving that person in the mistake in the first place. Kasi you forgive eh. You know that he made a mistake and it's your decision to forgive. So when you forgive, you mean that you have to move on. So that's like a solid decision that if you forgive, go straight, wala nang balikan nun. Hindi mo na pwedeng ibalik-balik kasi there's no point of going back to that relationship if babalik-balikan mo pa rin yun. So that's one thing. If you decided to go back. If you didn't decided to go back, Kuya Darbs, okay na, I move on. I don't want what she or he did to me was too much that I can't actually accept it. Pero nasasaktan lang ako ngayon. Well and good and it's better. But make a decision. You have to make a decision that it's enough. Once you make that decision, it has to be final. And then that's the start of going to the third step. After you made a decision of moving forward, then that's the time you focus on yourself. Karamihan sa mga pagkakataon on why people are not able to move on easily is because they made their partner their world. So much so that when that partner moves, nawalan sila ng mundo. They don't have the pattern of their own. Wala silang lakad ng sarili nila. They don't have their own friends. Alam mo yun? So, I think after making a decision to move on, it's now time to focus on yourself. Why would you focus on yourself? Because you deserve it. You owe yourself this time. So ano ibig mo sabihin, Kuya Darbs, if you want me to focus on myself? Focus on yourself. Pamper yourself. Paganda ka. Not to the expense that nagpapaganda ka because you want someone to replace that person. No. Again, you're treating a symptom, not the problem. You dress up nicely for you to feel better, not for you to have someone look at you at may papalit ka sa bagong jowa mo. Either you do that by focusing on your career. Spending time with yourself means also to focus on the friends that you lost along the way because of the relationship. And of course, you have to find a way, activities, learn new skill, learn new hobby that basically would take time outside of your unbusy schedule, and at the same time, it propels you to the next level. Yung mga ganong klaseng activities should be propelling you to the next level. Para it's like hitting 2 birds in 1 stone. Nalilibang ka and at the same time, you learn a new skill, you learn a new network, you've already pushed yourself onto the next level. Kung gusto mong mag-vlogging, you pursue vlogging. Kung gusto mong i-pursue yung pagkanta, go ahead. I-pursue mo yung pagkanta. Kung gusto mong mag-horseback ride, pag mayaman ka, why not? Gawin mo yun. Kung wala kang pera, magkalabaw-kalabaw ka lang muna. Pero that's the thing. You have to focus on yourself by finding activities that would propel you to the next level. Kasi nga, if you don't find activities, magmumukmo ka lang sa kwarto mo. And an idle mind is a devil's playground. So after that, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do after you focused on yourself? Pagkatapos mong mag-focus sa sarili mo, definitely you will find ways on how to realize your self-worth. And I think most of the time, part of the reason why people have a difficult time moving forward and have a difficult time deciding whether to move on or to go back to their relationship is because they don't know the true meaning of self-worth. Anong ibig sabihin ng self-worth? If you know your value, you will not allow someone to treat you the way you're not supposed to be treated. If you are a 16-karat gold, would you allow someone to give you 20 pesos for it? Of course not, because you know yourself, you're a valuable individual and you don't allow yourself to be treated the way you're not supposed to be treated. So self-worth, value yourself. And one thing's for sure, if you know what you bring to the table, you're never afraid to eat alone. If you have that kind of mindset, moving on would be easy. But sadly, most of us are not like that. And you're not supposed to feel bad if you're not at that level. Kasi nga, everybody has their own scope eh. Hindi naman lahat pinanganak na malakas agad. But it's better for you to know these steps other than being lost on doesn't know what to do. Alam mo yon? At least alam mo kung ano yung mga dapat mong gawin versus not really knowing anything at all. So self-worth, realize that. After realizing your self-worth, give yourself a time to be alone. Anong ibig sabihin nun, Kuya Darbs? Kasi most of us are too excited to jump into a different relationship just to prove our ex na kaya ko siyang palitan anytime. Love when you're ready, when you're freaking lonely. Kasi most of the time, yung healing process, hindi pa natatapos, you again jump into another relationship. What happens is, another relationship mo is panakipbutas lang yun, just for you not to feel pain, just for you not to feel alone. Most of us are with someone and enter into a relationship not because we love the person, it's because we're afraid to be alone. So, have the time to actually find ways to be alone first. Fine, pwede kang mag-char-char dyan, pwede kang mag-date-date, but never enter into a relationship right away. Let yourself heal full. Kung ikaw na-injure ka sa basketball, siguro nabalian ka ng tuhod, hindi naman na sprain yung tuhod mo. You have to let your knee go through its healing process. Hindi pwedeng nilagyan mo lang ng ice ngayon, tapos hinilot-hilot mo kagabi, kinabukasan ilalaro mo na agad. Then that's a recipe for disaster because the next injury that you will have will be a situation where hindi mo na magagamit yung knee mo because you use that or naglaro ka without having the right healing process, without actually waiting the healing process. That's the reason why most of the people are so broken. Why? Because they don't allow themselves to heal and they jump into another relationship. And what happens is that when they jump another relationship, they again get broken and then it goes on and on and on and then dun nagkakaroon ng trust issue ang isang babae or ang isang lalaki. So, if I were you, always have the courtesy and you owe it to yourself to heal first before jumping into another relationship. It's not because you want to prove something to someone or it's just because para lang I look cool that I was single after him. And don't mind other people na if they tell you that you're single for a long time after the breakup because hindi ka nakahanap ng iba. No, it's not like that. You're giving your time, yourself away for you to heal. Alam mo yun? And in that process, it doesn't necessarily mean na you don't go out, you don't date, pero you allow yourself to heal first. Just like playing in the basketball, you don't play an actual game. Pwede kang mag-shoot sa gilid, pwede kang mag-dribble. So, you can date, you can see someone, pero it's not an actual relationship. So, you have to practice and exercise yourself first, just like the knee. Now, once your knee is fully healed or your heart is fully healed, that's the time you can now play again. Maybe this time you're gonna win. Next process of healing is to actually allow yourself to be selfish in order for you to be selfless. Hindi mo kasi kayang ibigay yung bagay na wala ka. So kung wala kang pagmamahal sa sarili mo, kung broken ka, you can never help someone or you can never give someone of value. Hindi mo kayang tulungang tumakbo yung tao kung ikaw mismo hindi ka marunong tumakbo. So you have to be strong first for you to be strong for someone else. Kailangan mong magkaroon para meron kang mabigay. Okay, after that, what happens next? What happens next is this. Most of us are, when it comes to relationship, usually is looking for the right one. Take note of the term looking for the right one. Naghahanap. It all boils down to the healing process that I said earlier. Kasi, Isa din sa dahilan kung bakit tayo hinihiwalayan ng taong mahal natin at gustong-gusto natin is because we are so focused on finding the right one that when we find the right one, is that person gonna like us back? Of course, yung taong gusto mo, mataas ang standard nun. If you actually find the right one and then you were able to somehow trick that person into liking you back, it's not gonna last. Especially if hindi mo ginawa yung tamang healing process, which is finding your self-worth, finding your own value, and healing fully. Kasi yung right one na yun is on a level wherein he is okay, he is fine, he is mentally fine. Tapos pag nakipag-relationship siya sa'yo, since you are a broken individual, selosa ka, marami kang ganito, hindi ka pa mentally stable, hindi ka pa financially okay, so that person will actually find ways on not to be with you anymore. Or basically that person, especially kung yung tao na gusto mo is really an ideal person, he's gonna find his own worth and he's gonna realize that this person is not worth my time and effort, and that is you. So what's the trick? It's not a trick, it's like an advice. Do not find the right one. Instead, focus on being the right person for someone. Be that right person. Invest in yourself. Sa sarili mo, katao mo, sa skills mo, on how you communicate, on how you deliver a message, on how you dress yourself. It's not just physically. Internally din dapat. You have to be prepared and you have to be okay. So that when the time comes that person walked in front of you and you now try to grab opportunity of meeting this person, you're ready. This person is gonna like you back. That person will think that you are the right person for him or for her because you prepared. You didn't waste your time thinking and your energy into the finding part. Instead of finding, you focused inward. You focused on yourself. You focused on your skill. You focused on your individuality. You focused on your intellect. You focused on your career. Instead of the others na usually ginagawa nila is they focus their energy into looking. Tapos pag nahanap nila, they are an empty shell because they didn't invest on themselves. Once you invest in yourself and once you find yourself the right person, or you realize that I am the person who's worthy to love, if you were able to find a way to actually realize your own worth, your own potential, dun mo na marirealize yung worth mo eh. Dun mo na marirealize na you are an individual who's not gonna be fucked with. Kasi alam mo na yung value mo. And that person, so syempre nakahanap ka na ng jowa, di ba? And that person knows your value so much that he's not gonna do anything that would offend or break your heart because that person see you as the right person for him. Because you focused on that. You focused on being the right person for someone instead of looking for the right one. So in return, if you're lucky, you found your forever, di ba? Sipin mo yun, from moving on to finding your forever. Ganun katindi ang advice ni Real Talk Darbs. Tulad nga na sinabi ko on my previous vlog, okay? It's fine if ever you are in a situation where you got hurt and you have to move on. Kasi nga that's part of a process of being a human being. And a heartbreak makes you realize how good it is to find the right person. Kasi ganito, the reason why you move on is because you broke up with someone else, correct? Breaking up with someone else might be the worst day of your life at that specific moment. Pero trust me when I tell you, when one day, when you are walking down the aisle, looking at the love of your life, you'll be thankful and you'll realize why it did not work with anybody else.